Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with these nerds.
Nathan Nerdarch.
Nerdarch is Ted.
Steal this idea for your game if you want to make a new Warlock Patron.
Jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
Today we want to discuss one of the recent articles over at nerdarchy.com. So D&D Spelljammer Warlock Into the Void. Staff editor Doug had recently written this article and put it up over on nerdarchy.com. And there's some very interesting points that he brings up. And it also really shows the flexibility of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. And also, at the same time, highlights some other products that are out there, if you guys are interested, from Kobold Press.
Absolutely. Doug is playing a Spelljammer 5th edition game. And he has a character who's playing a Warlock. And he just, the choices that were there just did not match what the player wanted to actually do.
Yeah, it's kind of like be a great old one, have a patron of that, or nothing. It kind of felt right.
Well, yeah, and also like he talks about like how the game like evolved. It wasn't initially a Spelljammer game. It was just, you know, a standard D&D campaign. It went into space. You know, Doug kind of discusses his love of the star-packed Warlock from 4th edition and misses not having it there. And the character that ends up, you know, becoming this Void Pack is actually really interesting. It's really cool. He comes from this, you know, desert-dwelling, advanced civilization of Dragonborn who all like are highly invested in arcana and lore, and that's how you gain status in that society.
But this character is not very intelligent.
No, like intelligence is his dumb stat.
So he was told, like, all right, here's a telescope. You're too stupid to touch it.
Do not touch it. So what does he do? Like a bad monkey?
He touches it.
He touches it. And you know, and it's through that he discovers his great old one pact, which later, you know, they're discussing things and they're looking at things in like some of this new material. And it's like, oh, you know, I think I'd rather do something else. And so Doug basically creates a whole new Warlock pack for him. And it actually works out really well because the Warlocks get stuff at 1, 6, 10, and 14. And where he took things from, they get things at 2, 6, 10, and 14. So there was only like really a difference of 1 level. Mm-hmm. The character had only gotten 1 ability so far, and that was the telepathy. And he was intrigued by the whole idea of void magic and void dragons, all inspired by the Kobold Press Tome of Beasts.
He talks about in the article the fact that when you're spell jamming, the concept of, you know, a thing from beyond the stars, you can travel there. Like there's
like right over there.
That's like saying, yes, that is down the street. Not very impressive, you know. So they had to twist. He had to stretch things. So as Dave brought up, the Tome of Beasts has the Void Dragon, and he's like, well, if you're taking an ancient or beyond one of these guys, this would be an excellent thing to be able to draw power from.
Right, and so what he did is, while there is no Void Patron for Warlocks, there is a Void tradition of magic for wizards. So he literally just said, well, just use this and use these abilities, and, you know, it's still cool. I mean, it's going to be limited because, you know, some of the spellcasting benefits you get for that they're not going to be amazing for a Warlock, because Warlocks don't get as much spellcasting.
Right.
Unless you're resting a lot.
So, you know, Kobold Press put out the Deep Magic PDF. It's 10 pages. It's $2.99 over on the DM's Guild. And this is what he used as his building blocks. So he used the PDF to build, or to not build, but to switch from one class to another. And things, you know, meshed and paired quite nicely. And the patron was literally, you know, this ancient or beyond dragon. And I think it's pretty darn cool.
I like the inclusion of the original story, how it all developed kind of with Doug's group. And I also like the kind of ease that he says that, you know, from transferring it from one to the other. And that's, I think, a big takeaway from this is the power of 5e to be able to take something that another class has, and with another spellcasting class, it seems kind of like it's a bit easier to kind of shift it from being a tradition to being a Warlock pact.
And one of the other things he talks about doing too is just like the options for spells known for the Warlock. He kind of built a list from that book, and it's all void magic stuff. And also, there's also something else that kind of gets introduced in that book, and that's called void speech. So there's a couple feats that go along with that are pretty cool that anybody could take. But it's just another way of adding like layers to your game. Really what this is, it's like an exercise in how can you take what's already there and just mix it up a little bit to give your players what they want and create something new new without actually doing all the work whole cloth.
Right. And he took actually some of those feats and says, like, could be possible to even twist those into Warlock invocations as well.
Well, that's the other thing he talks about. He also talks about some of the actual abilities or things that could possibly be twisted into Warlock invocations as well. And like he goes in to tweak things like, oh, there should be a level requirement here or a level requirement there, and he's kind of playing with it. And he's talking about this is like his second article, on this subject, and this one, since he had already brought up some other stuff, he decided to, okay, so since I've been talking about what we're doing, here it is, let me actually show you. And then he just gives you like a pretty good overview as well as like the character story and everything that goes along with it. But like I said, our big takeaway was, look, he kind of created something brand new from something old or with doing very little work. And that's one of the things I love to do as a DM is why reinvent the wheel when all you have to do is, change a few things, tweak a little things, and, everyone at the table is going to be happy and satisfied.
Absolutely.
So what do you guys think? Do you do this kind of kit bashing in your games? Let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can patronize us in a good way over on Patreon.
Or you can follow us on Instagram.
So until next time.
Stay nerdy.